The secret he hid. Dylan's return destroys everything. The night air was cold and biting as Shen Yue stood by the large window of their mountain cabin, staring out into the mist. It had been weeks since they vanished after the wedding. No one knew where they went. No press, no family, not even their closest friends. It was as if the earth had swallowed them whole. But the truth was more complicated. Inside the cabin, things were not as perfect as the world believed. Dylan sat silently by the fireplace, his fingers curled around a faded photograph, the edges torn, the image slightly smudged from his grip. It was a photo of him and Shen Yue, taken years ago on the set of their first drama. They were smiling, full of youth, unaware of how the future would twist everything. Shen Yue turned to face him. "You've been quiet since the call," she said softly. Dylan looked up, his eyes distant. "It was my manager. He knows where we are. The press is coming." She nodded, her face unreadable. "But that's not what's bothering you," she added, her voice steady. He inhaled sharply, closing his eyes for a moment. "I've been keeping something from you," he said. Shen Yue felt the air leave her lungs. Her hands trembled slightly as she stepped closer. "What is it?" Dylan stood up, dropping the photograph onto the floor. He walked past her and opened the drawer of the desk. From it, he pulled out a velvet box. When he turned around, he wasn't holding a ring. It was a bracelet. Not hers. "It belonged to her," Dylan said, holding it out. Shen Yue stared at it. "Who?" she whispered. "My assistant," he said. "Before the wedding, I told you she left for personal reasons." "That wasn't true." Shen Yue blinked rapidly, her throat tightening. "I ended things before we ever got serious," Dylan continued, "but she disappeared the week after. The police contacted me a few days before the wedding. She's still missing." Silence hung in the room like a heavy curtain. Shen Yue took a step back, her voice barely audible. "Why didn't you tell me?" "Because I didn't want anything ruining our day," he said, his voice cracking. "And I thought it had nothing to do with us anymore." "But it does," she snapped. "It does now." She turned away from him, walking to the door. Outside, the fog was rolling in thick waves. The forest that once seemed peaceful now felt ominous. Dylan followed her, stepping out into the chill. "She left this at my apartment," he said, lifting the bracelet. "No note. No call. Just this." Shen Yue shook her head. "You lied to me, Dylan. You chose silence over trust. Do you even know how dangerous that is?" He reached out, trying to grab her hand, but she pulled away. "You brought me here to hide from the world," she continued, her voice growing louder. "But the truth is, you were hiding from yourself." Thunder rumbled in the distance. The sky was dark, and the trees swayed as the wind howled through the mountains. Suddenly, a car's headlights appeared on the trail. Shen Yue froze. "Who would come here?" she asked. Dylan's face turned pale. "I don't know." The car stopped in front of the cabin. A figure stepped out, dressed in black, their face obscured by the fog. Shen Yue stepped behind Dylan instinctively. The figure walked slowly toward them, the crunch of gravel under their boots the only sound. And then the voice. "You thought you could hide forever, didn't you?" It was a woman. Shen Yue's heart dropped. The figure stepped closer, revealing a face neither of them had seen before, but something about her felt familiar. "I knew you would run here," the woman said to Dylan. "This was your favorite place. Yours and hers." Dylan's jaw clenched. "Who are you?"
Shen Yue asked.
The woman smiled, but it was cold. "The person who knows everything," she said. "About the assistant. About the trip. About what really happened the night before your wedding." Dylan's hand tightened into a fist. "You're her sister," he said slowly. The woman nodded. "I want answers," she said. "And I won't leave until I get them." Shen Yue looked at Dylan. "What happened that night, Dylan?" He swallowed hard. "There was a fight," he whispered. "I told her to stay away. That I was marrying you. She got angry. She said things, threatening things. I left. When I came back, she was gone." The woman's eyes burned. "You think that makes you innocent?" "I never hurt her," Dylan said, his voice breaking. "But I didn't protect her either." Shen Yue felt her world crumble. The man she loved, the man she married, had been carrying this darkness the entire time. Suddenly, the woman turned and walked back to her car. "This isn't over," she said. "When the world finds out the truth, your careers, your love story, all of it will fall apart." As the car disappeared into the fog, Shen Yue turned to Dylan. "You should have told me." "I know," he said. "But I was afraid I'd lose you." She looked at him, her eyes filled with both love and fear. "You already might have." And with that, she walked back into the cabin, leaving Dylan standing alone under the pouring rain. The door clicked softly behind Shen Yue as she stepped back into the cabin, her body trembling from cold and from everything that had just happened outside. The fireplace had nearly gone out. Its faint flicker matched the silence, now wrapping itself around her. She stared at the velvet bracelet box on the floor. It sat there like a ghost, whispering memories she had no part in. Dylan entered slowly. Rain dripped from his clothes onto the wooden floor.
He didn't speak.
He only watched her. "I came here to start over," Shen Yue said without turning around. "But now I feel like I've walked into someone else's ending." He stepped forward. "It's not her story anymore," he said. "It's ours. And it still can be." She turned around slowly, her eyes searching his face for answers he had not yet given. "Then tell me everything," she whispered. "No more secrets. No more quiet lies between smiles." Dylan sat on the edge of the couch, his hands clasped tightly together. "After we finished filming our last drama," he began, "I was burned out. I wasn't sleeping. I wasn't eating. My team brought her on to manage my schedule because they thought she could keep me grounded." Shen Yue folded her arms, her heart already bracing for what might come next. "For a while, she did," Dylan continued. "She made things easy. Too easy. I mistook comfort for connection. We got close, but it was nothing like what you and I have." "But she thought it was," Shen Yue said. Dylan nodded. "I realized it too late. I told her we should keep it professional."
But something in her changed.
"I never saw her angry until that night." He looked at the fireplace, as if hoping the flames could erase the memory. "She showed up at my door the night before the wedding. She begged me not to marry you. She said she had something that could ruin us both." Shen Yue's voice cracked. "What was it?" "A video," he said. "Taken on set, months ago. It showed us, you and me, having a private moment. She said it would look like a scandal if it went public. She threatened to leak it unless I canceled the wedding." Shen Yue took a step back. "So you married me under blackmail?" "No," he said quickly. "I called her bluff. I told her to do whatever she wanted, that I'd rather lose everything than lose you. And then she disappeared." He nodded slowly. "The next morning, I got a message. Just coordinates. I went there, but she was gone. Only the bracelet was left, hanging from a tree."
Shen Yue sat down, her knees weak.
"So, what do we do now?" Dylan looked up at her. "We tell the truth," he said.
"Together.
If we're going to survive this, the world needs to hear our side before someone else twists it." Before she could answer, a sharp knock shattered the silence. They both jumped. Another knock. Louder.
Slower.
Dylan walked to the door cautiously. When he opened it, there was no one there. Only a letter on the doorstep, sealed in red wax. He picked it up and brought it inside. Shen Yue watched as he broke the seal and unfolded the paper. There were only 2 sentences inside. "She was here before you. She'll be here after you. Tell the truth, or I will."
Shen Yue gasped.
"Someone's watching us," she said. Dylan turned the page over. At the bottom was a signature neither of them recognized. But that wasn't the worst part. Attached to the note was a photograph. It showed Dylan and Shen Yue standing on their wedding day, unaware, joyful. In the corner of the photo, a shadowy figure stood in the background, watching them. "She's not gone," Shen Yue whispered. Dylan felt the chill of something deeper than fear. "No," he said. "She never left." The storm outside grew louder, as if nature itself was responding to the chaos. Inside the cabin, 2 hearts beat out of rhythm. 2 souls held together by love, but threatened by secrets, shadows, and the ghost of someone who refused to stay buried. And just like that, Their honeymoon turned into a mystery that would follow them forever. Or until the truth came crashing down.